You need to work hard. Everybody always tells us that. But what does working hard even mean? Does it mean sacrificing your entire life to achieve success? In this video, we're going to be exposing the myth of hard work, why millennials and Generation Z don't buy into it anymore, and how you can become successful without putting in all those 18-hour days. We live in an age where people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates are considered role models. But if you actually look into their lives and how they achieved what they have today, you'll realize that their lifestyles aren't exactly normal. If you want to emulate them, we get told from a young age that if we work hard, we'll achieve our dreams, that if we sacrifice our time, money, and health now, we'll reap the benefits later. We should live for the future. The problem with this narrative is that it doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur or a CEO. Most people just want to live a comfortable, happy life. And for those people, this narrative is just not relatable. It only works for a select few. In fact, if you look at the data, there's no correlation between hard work and happiness. So why do we keep perpetuating this myth? Why do we keep telling ourselves and others to work hard when there's no guarantee that it'll lead to anything? The truth is, there are multiple paths to success, and hard work is just one of them. There are other ways, like being smart, being lucky, or having connections. But we tend to ignore these factors because they're harder to control. It's easier to tell someone to work hard than to admit that success also depends on other things. This is why the self-help industry has become so popular. People want quick fixes. They want to believe that they can achieve their goals with just a little more effort, with just one more course or one more book. But the truth is, that's just not the case. Success is complex. It's influenced by so many factors that you can't just boil it down to one simple message. And here's the thing. While some people might succeed by working hard, most people who work hard don't succeed. Just think about all the people you know who bust their butts every day. Who are you working hard and still haven't gotten anywhere? The reason for this is that hard work isn't enough. You also need to be smart about how you work. You need to use your time, energy, and resources wisely. Otherwise, you'll burn out before you even reach your goals. But even if you work smart, there's no guarantee that you'll succeed. There are too many variables at play: the economy, the stock market, the political climate, just to name a few. Any one of these could change on a dime and completely derail your plans. This is why we shouldn't put all of our eggs in one basket. We need to have a diversified portfolio of income streams, investments, and opportunities. This way, no matter what happens, we'll be able to weather the storm. Most people aren't willing to do this, though. They want the easy way out. They want to find a shortcut to success. But the truth is, there's no such thing. Or is there? Now, let me tell you a little story. There was once a farmer who had a horse. The horse would pull his cart every day, helping him make deliveries and earn money. One day, the farmer's horse died, so he went to the market to buy a new one. As he was walking through the market, he saw a man who was selling shortcuts. Intrigued, the farmer asked how they worked. The man simply smiled and said, "They're very effective. All you have to do is follow these steps, and you'll be on your way to success." The farmer thought for a moment. He realized that buying a shortcut would save him a lot of time and effort. So he agreed to buy a shortcut from the man. The man handed over a small box to the farmer and said, "Here's your shortcut. Remember to use it wisely." The farmer took the box home and put it in his cart. Every day he would take it out and stare at it, trying to figure out how to use it. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't figure out how to use it. Eventually, he gave up and threw the box in the trash. The next day, the farmer went to the market to buy a new horse. He walked past the same man selling shortcuts and couldn't help but smile. He realized that the only shortcut to success was hard work. This story teaches us that hard work is the only shortcut to success. There are no shortcuts in life. Anything worth having comes at a price, and that's okay. We shouldn't be looking for shortcuts anyway. Instead, we should focus on doing our best and letting the results speak for themselves. The difference between the people who succeed and those who do not is that the former never give up. They keep going even when things get tough. This is what separates the winners from the losers. But maybe we've been focusing on the wrong kind of hard work. Maybe it's not about working more hours or putting in more effort. Maybe it's about working smarter, not harder. Working smarter means being efficient and effective. It means making the most of your time and resources. It's not about working around the clock, but about working in a way that gets you the best results possible. Working smarter also means knowing when to delegate. We can't do everything ourselves. Sometimes it's better to hire someone else to do a task for us, even if it costs money. This allows us to focus on the tasks that only we can do, which will ultimately lead to better results. Finally, working smarter means being flexible. Things don't always go according to plan, and that's okay. We need to be able to adapt and adjust our strategies accordingly. This doesn't mean giving up on our goals. It just means being smart enough to know when to take a different path. But the question still remains, why don't millennials and Generation Z buy into the whole work hard narrative anymore? We've grown up hearing this message, so it's no wonder we're tired of it. But there's more to it than that. We live in a completely different world than our parents and grandparents did. We face different challenges and opportunities. For starters, we're living longer than previous generations. So, we need to make sure we don't burn ourselves out early on. We also live in a highly competitive world. Everyone is vying for the same limited spots in prestigious schools, companies, and industries. This means that we need to be at the top of our game at all times. But here's the thing, working hard doesn't necessarily lead to success. In fact, it often leads to burnout and unhappiness. That's why we need to find a different approach, one that allows us to balance our mental health, personal lives, and career aspirations. So, what's the solution? How do we achieve success without working hard? The answer, work smarter, not harder. This means being intentional with our efforts, focusing on efficiency and effectiveness, and knowing when to delegate. It also means staying focused on our long term goals while being flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. We can't all be Elon Musk or Bill Gates. We're not aiming to be the 1%. We just want to live a comfortable, happy life. And that's okay. We can still work hard, but we don't have to sacrifice everything to get there. By working smarter, we can achieve our goals while still enjoying our lives. So, what are you waiting for? Start working smarter today and see the difference it makes in your life. Thanks for watching.